got 6:12 on my clock.
Good evening and welcome to the Poets Cafe. It is where artists come to life. The spoken word brings forth the inner creations of hidden treasures, expressing tones of lyrics felt within the soul, a vibration that brings stories untold. This platform represents artists of all backgrounds, be it writers, singers, spoken word, artistic expressions and painting, literature, poetry, and a journey through life. Mystery seeks to bring new ideas and opportunities to the mind at all levels. Wherefore my time leaving tomorrow on the wings of yesterday. The birds fly higher than the mystery of dreams never knew. Why do mellow sounds ring silently without ever leaving memories of my lonely blues? We walk by the calls of nature, sing in harmony, pray for the love of the sky, and dance with the stars like a feminine ballerina, gazing across the stage in her soft-toed ballerina shoes. Welcome to the Artists of Poetry Cafe show, Poetically Speaking, hosted by Terry Benjamin and Ron C. McCrae. As delighted as we are, we can't wait to engulf a new wave of presenting this platform to our audience. So, sit back and enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Now, let's get started.
This is Poetically Speaking with Terry Benjamin and Ronald C. McCrae. And we're here Thursdays from 6 to 7 and Sundays from 5 to 6. Poetically Speaking is a program for you, our community. It is a place for the spoken word. And as always, we want to offer you some food for thought, some things to get your mind working. And again, and when we talk about life, we're talking about a very comprehensive expression of that. And so life for us is food, sleep, music, water, touch, laughter, nature, sunlight, kindness, gratitude, movement, connection, and community. So again, when we talk about life, these are the things that we're talking about. And today's agenda, Think and Grow Rich, Mindset 2025. The original Think and Grow Rich was by Napoleon Hill, and he wrote this book in 1937. It was updated in 1991 by Dr. Dennis Kimbrough in a book called Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice. And so we're going to talk about the original Napoleon Hill book and also the updated version of that, and also try to help you expand your mind and do some deep thinking so you can look at your mindset and how does it correspond to the whole concept of thinking and growing rich. The quote of the day is from the original 1937 book by Napoleon Hill. And it says here, there is a difference between wishing for a thing and being ready to receive it. No one is ready for a thing until he believes he can acquire it. The state of mind must be belief, not mere hope or wish. And this is from Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich in 1937. And we're going to expand upon this, especially in the Food for Thought segment, where we're going to talk about the 6 steps to success according to the thinking, to the mindset of Napoleon Hill. But it gives me great pleasure to present the mindset of my brother right here. And so we begin each program with Ron's poetry. So Ron, what do you have for us this evening?
You know, just in short, I like to, just one line as you indicated before we continue to move forward, and that is, no one is ready for a thing until he believes he can acquire it. And as we know, you know, all those who go to church are Christians or the Jewish or the Islam or whatever, no matter how you look at it, everyone who believes in something prays for something.
That's right.
But the question is, what you're praying for, do you really believe what you're asking for? Because if you believe it and you're asking, then and then the reality is that you must wait for it. Patience is key.
It's key, yeah.
But while you're waiting for something, what are you doing in between? Are you indulging inside yourself to use your own mind, to use your own imagination?
That's right.
About thinking. As my brother said, think and grow rich. You have a brain. What are you doing with it? You know, either something negative, something positive, something, whatever the case may be.
That's right.
But are you utilizing to the best of your advantage to become a better person?
That's right.
And so here in this book of Think and Grow Rich by A Black Choice, Dennis Kimbrough and Napoleon Hill. And the interesting piece is that, as my brother read and indicated, Napoleon Hill back in 1937, I think it was, right?
That's right, that's correct.
Now here is a person back then, an author back then, used his mind. He was inspired by something or somebody, but he ultimately put all of his thoughts into action.
That's right.
He created something, a landmark, you know, a diagram, a legacy for us to go back and read. And here it was piggyback off of Brother Dennis Kimbrough. So no matter how you look at it, we have this podcast for you to think and grow rich.
That's right. That's right.
You see, and not just, and honestly, we appreciate you coming on. We appreciate your comment. But we also are inspired by your actions and conduct. So let me just read a couple things here in this book. Imagination. You know, think and grow rich. Use your imagination. You know, ideas in action. A man's mind, once stretched by a new idea, never regains its original. What does that mean? This was by Oliver Wendell Holmes. What does that mean? You have multiple ideas stretched all over the place, but can you go back to the original? Well, the original really ultimately is all the pieces that you put together, because as it was indicated back in 1937 until now, we go back in time, which is history, to look at the legacy of the original statement and where it come from. That's what's important.
That's right.
To know is nothing at all. To imagine is everything. And Anatole, and forgive me for pronouncing it wrong, France. You know, so God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Him is you and I. He created us. And as we was talking last week in short, before we continue to move on, and then we're going to come back to that, you know, about success, investment in you. Here is the image. He created you and I. What was God thinking and feeling? How did he create such a genius such as who you are?
That's
authenticity.
Right.
You know, you are the original. You are one of a kind. That's what's important. And so to think about who you truly are. I am one of a kind. I am perfect.
That's right.
Wonderfully made in the image and likeness of God. He said, let us create man in our image and likeness. That's what's important. So as we continue to move forward in this program, again, continue to think about what we're expressing. Think about who you are. When you look in the mirror, when you're taking a shower, whatever you're doing in your own privacy, you think. When the lights go out and there's no gas and you have candlelight, but what do you do in the darkness? So we're going to continue to move forward, because this is a very important and it's a good subject to continue to elaborate on.
Yeah, it's the best subject because, again, it was Albert Einstein who said that imagination is better than knowledge, because imagination is unlimited. I mean, we can sit here and we can, in our imagination, go to Hawaii or go to Ghana or wherever we want to be, and just through the power of our imagination. Because, again, education is not just knowledge, but education is applied knowledge. So as we go through the program, we're going to talk about the concept of think and grow rich, but we're going to show you how to apply it to your life. Because, again, what sense it is to have all these books on the shelf and you never open them and you never apply them. Okay, so today we're going to show you how to use what you have. My brother always says, you know, what do you have in your hand? Well, if you have a book like this, you open up a whole new world of possibilities. And so, again, what do you have in your hand? You have your future in your hand.
No matter how you look at it, you know, whether it's somebody's book, it could be your book. It could be your picture. And matter of fact, let me show you this.
Yes.
This is a calendar, right? tell you the days in the month of the years, etc., etc., etc.
That's right, right.
These images was produced and put together by kids in school, elementary, 10, 11, 8 years old. They was asked, and many may not have been asked, but they raised their hand because they wanted an opportunity just to showcase who they are.
That's right.
And here are different images. You see these same images in a museum, in the Smithsonian, no matter how you look at it. On all these pages, you see, wear your son, protection.
That's right.
It has nothing to do with how the image look. It's all about the creativity, the imagination, and that's what's important. Your imagination. Nobody said you had to go to school or whatever the case may be to become a professional artist. No, because everybody started with nothing.
That's right. That's right.
So again, what's in your hands?
That's right.
Don't sit there and look at it and say, well, nothing in it. No, your future, your dreams, your imagination, your visions, everything is in the palm of your hand. You have to bring it to light.
That's true. And again, we try to bring you tools to do just that. Okay? As we move on, we're going into a mind, body, and books segment. And this, of course, is where we present to you books from our personal bookshelves. And the first book that I want to present to you today is a book that has been on my shelf for quite some time, because this book was actually published in the year 2000. And the title of the book is The Power of Focus: How to Hit Your Business, Personal, and Financial Targets with Absolute Certainty. And this is by Jack Canfield and Mark Victor Hansen, who are the authors of the whole Chicken Soup books, you know. And then we have with him Les Hewitt. And this was in 2000. And it says here on the back of the book, and I really think it sums it up in a very great way. It says here, do you know the number one reason that stops people from getting what they want? Is lack of focus. People who focus on what they want prosper. Those who don't struggle. Between these covers, you'll discover the specific focusing strategies used by the world's most successful men and women. Whatever you want, the power of focus will help you achieve it. This treasury of practical wisdom includes easy to implement action steps that will significantly free up your time, dramatically improve your bank account, and subtly enrich your most important relationship. Again, the power of focus. And again, not just the power of focus, but also the power of action, because many of us have some very good ideas. Back in the year 2022, I had an idea for a book that would really develop the whole concept of there are things worth more than money. And I had this idea, and then I met a young man from Ghana who is in the United States, and he came to me with the same idea. And we collaborated. And we actually produced a book. And the book that we produced was a book called Wealth of Riches: How to Have All-Round Success. And this is by Brother Oye, and I had the privilege of editing this book and also contributing and giving them some ideas how to put it together. And we did this book in 2022. We had a big book signing at the Rawway Public Library, and it was a good time. And this book is produced, and it's still available on Amazon, but it's produced in paperback. Also, this book is produced in hardcover. So you have the paperback edition and you have the hardcover edition. And I'm showing it to you this way because all ideas need an action plan. And the action plan that we had was to put this book in print. So you have the paperback version of this book, and you have the hardcover, okay? And so what happens, you can buy this book and you can really use this book. And I just want to, before I let it go, I was the editor of the book, but I also wrote the foreword. And I just want to share this with you because, again, it really inspired me. And this was the foreword with the book, and I began with a quotation. And I said here, there's no greater wealth in this world than peace of mind. And this is from an unknown writer. And what I said here, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. If you're holding this book in your hands, you are ready for the next level of life. This is a book you will need to read at this time in your life. Wealth of Riches, How to Have All-Around Success Forever by life coach and financial advisor Oyewola Oliki is for you at this time because deep in your soul, you know that wealth is more than money in the bank. This book will help you develop a wealth mentality for today and tomorrow and help you cultivate and grow human qualities that will make you a money magnet. You will meet many mentors and teachers in this book, some from real life experiences of the author, some are from quotes from valuable books the author has read or created to make you a financial success story. As the author writes, when you become wealthy, in the truest sense, money will stay with you. You will live in abundance that goes far beyond money. And so again, I had the idea, the brother had the same idea, and we collaborated. We had an action plan that resulted in a published book, in paperback and in hardcover. And again, many of you have some great ideas, but you got to take it to the next level. And that next level is the action step. Because again, knowledge is king, but it is applied knowledge. Because if you have the knowledge and don't apply it, well, you're really not doing what God has put in your heart. And I believe this idea for this book was something that God gave to me, and he gave it to Brother Oye at the same time, and we were able to come together. And so again, when you have your ideas, don't be afraid to share them. And before we go to my brother here, Napoleon Hill, one of the things Napoleon Hill did was he got together what he calls a mastermind group, was a group of people who were like intellectual as he was, that was driven as he was, and they got together and they what they called a mastermind group, and they would meet occasionally to really bounce some ideas off each other, and then these men went on to become really leaders in industry and in intellect and in books. And so again, we have many books, but these books won't mean anything to you unless you read them and apply them.
And it's so true. It just to bounce back and forth here on various topics and titles. Creative dreaming. Where do ideas come from? Creative dreamings. My business card is creative thinkers.
That's right. That's right.
No matter how you look at it, because I'm always thinking, I didn't lose my mind. I'm still sane.
Yeah, you control that.
But what's important is that when you're thinking, you're based on images and things that surround you, ideas that come to you, but they only are as important as you put them, as my brother said, and as the book says, into action. There's no such thing as something is too small, something too stupid, something too crazy, or whatever. Right. Because, again, we say it all the time, what you thought about, somebody else put into action.
That's right.
Now you're mad at the person who had no idea that you were sitting in a dark corner doing nothing, fumbling with your thumbs and your fingers, thinking about what you thought about, but never thought about what you should have done about it. So just a couple of things here. As individuals, we often engage in creative dreaming without even knowing it. For instance, when a hard-pressed family develops a plan to finance the education of their child, or when a teenager finds a way to salvage that old jalopy, or when an entrepreneur initiates steps to creatively dream. Practically speaking, creative imagination is the ability to bring about improvement within our lives.
Yes.
All that's important. It's about the mind, imagination.
That's right.
Being focused, no matter how you look at it. Yep. So again, all those, and we're not talking about the ones, with all due respect, the ones who unfortunately, for whatever reason, lost their physical ability to think. But every single living creature and human being on the internal self, there's an imagination, and they are thinking. They may not be able to express it, but we're not talking about them. In essence, we're talking about you who are focused, who have the energy, who should be doing something, but you're not doing because we don't come together as a whole, a tribal village, a community. We ain't talking about the ghetto, with all due respect. We ain't talking about the hood, with all due respect. But even in those environments, those areas, and we joke, but in the same token, there are some serious-minded individuals, young, middle, and creative, seasoned seniors who also are developing their creative opportunity to be able to bring something into action.
That's a beautiful thought. And I want to go to this book here, The Power of Focus. Again, on page 287, it talks about life's fundamentals. Okay, and I want you to note this. Okay, life's fundamentals. Know what you want. Know why you want it. Discover your talents. Use them daily. Work hard. Work smart. Give unconditionally. Love unconditionally. Find your purpose. Live your purpose. Again, this is from one of the contributors to this book, Les Hewitt. Again, offering you the fundamentals. And again, if you're going to master anything, you must learn the fundamentals. We have some amazing tennis players, you know, and they had to learn the fundamentals before they become great. If you don't know the fundamentals of the game, you can't play the game at a higher level, whether it be golf, whether it be tennis, whether it be basketball, baseball, whatever. You have to learn the fundamentals, because once you learn the fundamentals, man, you can fly high, real high.
And you said on a regular basis, practice make improvement.
That's right, improvement.
Because, and I always thought about that, and actually, you know, I continue to think about that, because we always use the term practice make perfect. And as my brother said, well, technically, it really doesn't, because nobody on the face of the earth since the beginning of time was perfect.
That's right.
Well, let me back up. God created perfect man at that time, but he messed up. Sorry, brothers. But anyway, but the improvement, as you indicated, you go higher. And every round that goes higher, you gets better and better and better. That's what's important. Now you can see the small, now you can reap the benefits of your labor.
That's right.
Because you constantly move forward, you constantly strive, regardless of the conditions, the aches and pains, the sweat, the tears. But the fact is, practice makes better improvement.
That's right. That's right.
And that's when you reach back to help somebody. Don't ever think that you go forward and you became better without somebody who labored and fell short. But it's all about us reach back and to help somebody, because all of us need somebody to help us. Because even the best, as you said, the tennis, Serena,
that's right.
She didn't get where she's at all by herself.
She didn't.
It started at somewheres, the fundamentals of nothing, you know, or whoever it may be. The singer, the best artist, no matter how you look at it, you know. But the bottom line is, are you using your mind to create, to bring to life your dreams and ideas, and are you helping somebody, are you inspiring somebody to do the exact same thing? And like I always said, Philippians 2 and 3. Lift someone else up better than yourself, because somebody's lifting you up.
That's right. Because they say that success leaves clues. Okay, anybody who is successful, you can follow their footsteps, and you can, if not become as good as them, and maybe even better, because they sort of paved the way for you. And so again, moving on in our program, I want to go into the segment called Music is Lit. And here we present to you, you know, some of our great songwriters from the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s and 90s. And Ron, when I was thinking about this particular segment of the program, Music is Lit, I kept on thinking about what were some of the songs that people would remember sometimes when you said the first line. And again, I want to give credit to a young man, and I call him a young man, although he's 81, but I call him a young man because he's still doing his thing. He's still recording, just recorded a new album, you know, which includes Be Thankful for You Got. He re-recorded that in his new album. And he's on tour. You know, he's going city to city and he's still doing his thing. And of course, I'm talking about Mr. Smokey Robinson. And at this point, they said he's written over 3,000 songs in his career, and songs for other people. He's written songs for the Temptations and the Supremes, the Contours, and Stevie Wonder, and many other people. And so, again, I want to start this segment with a song that would be familiar to many of you because it's a classic. And this was actually released in 1965 and by Smokey Robinson. And it's called Tracks of My Tears. And it begins with a classic line. When I say this first line, Ron, everybody gonna know what this song is, okay? And so here we go. People say I'm the life of the party,
Hey.
cause I tell a joke or two. Although I might be laughing loud and hearty, deep inside I'm blue. So take a good look at my face. You'll see my smile looks out of place. If you look closely, it's easy to trace the tracks of my tears. I need you. I need you. Need you. Need you. Since you left me, if you see me with another girl, seeming like I'm having fun, although she may be cute, she's not a substitute because you're the permanent one. So take a good look at my face. You'll see my smile looks out of place. So look a little bit closer. It's easy to trace the tracks of my tears. I need you, need you, need you, need you. Outside, I'm masquerading. Inside, my hope is fading. Just a clown. Oh yeah, since you put me down, my smile is my makeup. I wear since my breakup with you. Baby, take a good look at my face. You'll see my smile looks out of place. Yet just a closer, it's easy to trace all the tracks of my tears. Baby, 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 take a good look at my face. You'll see my smile looks out of place. You look a bit closer, it's easy to trace. Yeah, the tracks of my tears. And everybody who knows Smokey Robinson knows that particular song because that song is a forever hit. And again, we talk about brothers who are in their 80s who are still doing it, but then there's brothers that passed. Some time ago, Walter Scott was one of the original members of a group called the Whispers. And him and his twin brother, they were the lead singers, and they had a great three-men backup singers as with them. Recently, as we all know, that Walter Scott passed, and he was 81. And so again, we're going to miss him, of course. And you know, it's interesting because sometime before the other twin was Scotty, he was ill. And then Walter came out, and they were performing as the Whispers. They only had one twin, and there were some places that wouldn't hire them because they wanted the two twins, but there were also places that would hire them to be able to do their music. And so now the Whispers are still going, but there's only one twin. But again, so as a tribute to the Whispers, I want to just share two songs with you that I know you probably know. And this song was actually produced by L.A. Reid and Babyface, and this was produced in 1987. And the title of this song is In the Mood, and this is from the Whispers. And it begins, feel much like romancing. How'd you like to wine and dine? I'd like to take you dancing. Candlelights and dinner. Wouldn't that be nice? We'll dance to sweet music. How about some Marvin Gaye? Feel like some sexual healing. Just relax and let me do things my way. That's what I'll do. I want to do it to get you in the mood. Baby, I'll do it all to get you in the mood. That is what I'll do to get you in the mood. Baby, I'll do it all to get you in the mood. This is what I'll do to get you in the mood. Let me rub your shoulders. Just relax. Just let me go slip on something sexy. It's all right, baby. Let me control. Step into the shower. I'll wash your back and you'll wash mine. Please stay for one more hour. I just want to make sweet love to you and feel you one more time. This is what I'll do. This is what I'll do to get you in the mood. Baby, I'll do it all to get you in the mood. I want to get you in the mood. In the mood, baby. This is what I'll do. I want to do it to get you in the mood. Maybe I'll do it all to get you in the mood. I want to get you in the mood, baby. This is what I do to get you in the mood. Baby, this is what I'll do. This is what I'll do to get you in the mood. And that is from the Whispers. Although Brother Walter has passed, the Whispers will still continue on. And again, this is the song that I want to share with you. This is also from 1987, another popular song. And it really, now that when I recited, the meaning is somewhat different because of the death of the brother. And this is entitled, It Just Gets Better with Time. So as you listen to the music of the Whispers, they made a lot of albums, a lot of singles. And again, every time they came out with something new, it got better and better and better. And so this song that they wrote is really appropriate for the time that we're going through right now. So the name of the song is It Just Gets Better with Time. Can't wait till the sun goes down. I've been waiting to hold you, counting the minutes you're not around. That's what's getting me through the day. Every thought that comes into my head is always centered around you. So glad to know that you're by my side. Wouldn't have it any other way. Just want to tell you how I'm feeling inside. Like I've been walking on cloud 9. Your love is rare and like the finest wine. It just gets better with time. Said it just gets better with time. Can't stop thinking about your love. Got to have you around. I pray for the moments when we touch. Such a sensation I can't explain. Just want to tell you how I'm feeling inside, like I've been walking on cloud 9. Your love is rare and like the finest of wine. It just gets better with time. Just want to tell you how I'm feeling inside, like I've been walking on cloud 9. Your love is rare and like the finest of wine. It just gets better with time. Just want to tell you how I'm feeling inside. I've been walking on cloud 9. Your love is rare and like the finest wine. It just gets better with time. And that's the Whispers, and you can go through their whole catalog. And I love them because they can do the fast songs, Ron, they can do the slow songs, and it was all good. And so that's the Whispers. And for those who were not born during that era, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and 90s, you can go back and discover this good music. They have some videos on Facebook where they have, Ron, they have some young people playing these songs. And this is the first time they heard these songs. And they were like, oh, amazing, because they didn't, again, a lot of them weren't even born at this time. But they put that music on and they said, you know what? This is still good. As they said, man, it still hits. It still hits. It still hits just right. And that's why, one of the things, the reason why I do the Music's Lit, because I don't want people to forget this music. It was the soundtrack of our generation, of our lives. But it was just so much wisdom in these songs, so much wisdom and beauty and poetry. And that's why we do what we do.
And, to piggyback on that, also equally important, as you indicated, as you read and read, music is lit. Yeah. But you look at the mind of the individual who thought about something. Ooh. How did he or she come up with the words based on somebody looking for something? Whether it's Smokey Robinson or the OJs or the Temptations, they had a group, they had a thought, they had an idea, they had an imagination. Temptation, just my imagination, run away with me. Yes, but the point is, you look at those behind the scenes, the music. Who put the music together? That's right. Who wrote the music? That's right. How did they organize the music? You take all the equipment, every element there is to make you successful under the spotlight of heaven.
That's right. That's right.
Is because every other equipment, persons, or opportunity of somebody who had an idea of a gift and talent that they brought forth to help you
right.
become a better you. But you're not a better you unless you recognize everybody and everything that made you who you are today. And as I said earlier, and as we talk about, it starts with you and God, or your creator, whoever that may be, who created you. Because he, the spirit of him, created you out of his image and likeness. What is your image and likeness? And that's what's important. So again, don't ever forget those who work behind the scenes, the cameraman, the studio, the equipment. Somebody built this stuff.
That's right.
We might be on this platform presenting to you. I might be a poet. I might be a writer. Professor might be a teacher. He's a reader. He writes books. The bottom line is we didn't get here by ourselves. It started with the visions of somebody who gave you the energy and the opportunity to think and use your brain. Think and grow rich, no matter what it is.
That's right.
Everything.
That's right.
I have something I want to read too. I put together, if I may.
Yeah, please. Please.
Naturally, I normally have it printed out, but I have to read it from the little device because somebody created this device.
Right.
So if it wasn't for this device, then I wouldn't know what to say.
That's right.
So let me read this. And this is the power of thoughts.
Wow, wow.
The power of thoughts is a concept of meaning that forms the main foundation of what? What exactly is an idea? Where does it originate? And what purpose does it serve?
Yes.
How can one define a thought? Are thoughts the image of something? And where is the truth behind that thought used to describe its purpose or why it is created? Is there a relationship to the question? Thoughts or mental images that create the illusions of reality, shaping how they form to make sense and convincing others to believe in their existence. Who or what designed the mind to think? How do we know what to consider when expressing our thoughts about something and shaping what we believe we feel? A new communication era caused by artificial intelligence. You know, everybody hear about the AI.
AI.
Has emerged. Suggesting that it may be replacing humans' ability to think and act. So if AI takes over, what purpose does it serve? And how can someone truly understand something if human nature still hasn't uncovered the reasons behind our thought pattern? Who creates AI and who manages the automated system? What is AI? Main purpose? Or why do humans rely on something artificial when humans are gone? When humans are gone, who or what will control the power of thought? Does the concept of nothing trap humans? Is this statement similar to the idea that communication genuinely does not exist? For millions of years, since the beginning of time, of nothing, the practice of nothing has been the absence of non-existent. So how can anyone determine who is right or wrong about something that does not exist? The power of thoughts, is it real, and why do we as humans debate over nothing that does not exist? philosophically speaking. You know, all of that
Yes.
plays a part even when we first started till now, our conversation, and as we come to an end, it's all about thought, the imagination, creating something. Do you dream? Do you have a vision? All that's important. And one of the other thing too, if I may have a minute, just to, I want to piggyback off from last week, the latter part. I don't have that much time now, but I want to say that ties into this evening. It's about investing in yourself, investing in your thoughts, in your dreams, and your ideas. Create. That's where the wealth is. Right. It's inside your thoughts, inside your imagination. Bring it to life. Product and services. Do you have a product? Do you have a service? Yes, we all do. But it's you bringing it to the table so somebody else can see and believe and feel and learn from it. Invest in yourself. See, society has taught us. We have gotten into the belly of society in this country to believe in investing in your bank, somebody else's gold and diamond, and the stock market. Every time the stock market drops or crash, they don't write you a letter, pick up the phone and say, hey, I'm sorry, I'll give you a refund. No, there's no such thing. But the only refund, the only dividend you will ever get, the only wealth you will ever build is within yourself. But you cannot do it by yourself. It takes a village. It takes a community. It takes all of us. Because again, when the lights go out, you can't pay the bills. Can you think? Can you talk? Do you have an imagination? And somebody's in the room. And one of the last thing is that Nathaniel Hawthorne, on the Scarlet Letter, he said, if any man sits alone and cannot dream strange things, he need not write romance. And we're talking about somebody sitting in the dark by himself or by herself. So what are you doing to bring your imagination to light? And as the brother read from the brother, you know, focus. No matter how you look at it, that's what's important.
Focus. Yeah, again, it's the power of focus, but also understand when we talk about computers, we talk about AI and whatnot, it's really, you have to put information into the computer. Okay, computer cannot think. I mean, they say the computer is the same as the human mind. It's not true. The human mind, I can think about 1953 and be transported to that. A computer cannot do that unless I put that into the computer, and then I have to manipulate the information. We also talked about the fact that we're on this platform. And it's a very good platform, but there are people behind us that make it possible. I cannot go on unless I thank Norm Bradley, who is the owner of this particular studio. He's the one behind BKS1 Radio. And again, we have engineers. Our engineer tonight is Jeff. We also have Patricia, and we also have Pierre at different times. So these are the crew that help really put this particular program together. Sometimes we have technical difficulties. We have to stop and start, but they're the ones who put us back on track. And that's why as we go through the program, we offer, at the last part of the program, we offer a segment called Food for Thought. And this time the Food for Thought is from this workbook. And this is from Think and Grow Rich, but this is a success journal where they take the ideas of Napoleon Hill and they add to them. And again, we won't be able to go through all of the things in this particular journal, but I do want to touch some points, okay? Because in this particular book, they talk about the steps to success. And time won't allow us to cover all the success because I had listed 6. And the 6 steps are number 1, desire, number 2, faith, number 3, audio suggestion, number 4, specialized knowledge, number 5, imagination, and 6, organized planning. And like I said, we won't be able to go through all of them, but I just want to maybe share something from the book, and then I have my brother respond to it. And so again, the first step is desire. And in the book here, in this success journal, as they call it, this is from the writings of Napoleon Hill, Ron, and he says here, wishing will not bring riches, but desiring riches with a state of mind that becomes an obsession, then planning definite ways and means to acquire riches, and backing those plans with persistence, which does not recognize failure, will bring riches. And what said you to that particular quotation? Why is desire so important in the moving towards the step? desire. Yeah.
Everything you just expressed, honestly, and I respect those who may not have grasped it, is really self-explanatory. Desire is a feeling, is something, that thought that's inside of you, all of us. It's the energy, it's the warmth, it's the cold, it's the feeling that moved you. What moved you? You look at your inside, all of your entire organs.
That's right.
You can't count. You don't even know what's inside of you, do
No,
you?
you don't.
You don't have a clue.
No.
You don't know how the DNA works. You don't know what happened. But each one of those organs inside of us had a design that was moved by the energy of something, and it works in sync. That's what's important. Are you working in sync with somebody or yourself? The mind is a terrible thing to waste
It
or
is.
lose.
That's right.
So you're right.
Yeah.
You know, desire. It's a feeling. It's a craving. Our ancestors had a desire to be free
That's right. That's right.
at all costs. They was determined, whether it was raped, lynched,
Whatever.
beaten, or
It
stormed.
didn't stop them.
But they had a desire.
Yeah, yeah. And again, we look at step number 2 is faith. And it says here, this is from Napoleon Hill again. He said, faith is a state of mind which may be induced or created by affirmation or repeated instructions to the subconscious mind through the principle of auto-suggestion. Repetition of affirmation of orders to your subconscious mind is the only known method of voluntary development of the emotion of faith. And I think the Bible says something about faith, right, Ron? What does the Bible say about faith?
Faith is the substance of things hoped for, things unseen. Now, I want to piggyback on something,
Yeah, please.
and I'm almost sure, but correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Here you have a conscious mind and you have a subconscious mind. Think about if you didn't have no subconscious mind. Where would you be? How would you act? You'd be so delirious, it'd be pathetic. But the fact is that you thought about something and the subconscious mind allowed you to go back to revisit that
That's right,
something, to
that's
bring
right.
it back to life,
Yes.
to present it in the forefront, and you can move on it. But if you didn't have a conscious mind, well, we won't be here. But if you have a subconscious mind, to be able to revisit is what's important, something to think about.
And it's so true. So again, we're looking at these first 6 steps of success. We talked about desire. We talked about faith. And then he says here, number 3 is auto-suggestion. And Napoleon Hill says here, auto-suggestion is the agency of control through which an individual may voluntarily feed his subconscious mind on thoughts of a creative nature, or by neglect, permit thoughts of a destructive nature to find their way into this rich garden of the mind. And this is auto-suggestion.
You know, revisiting, what if you couldn't revisit something? What if you couldn't go back? What if you didn't have memories of anything? Auto. It's so important to understand auto. Because again, a lot of us forget who we are. But if it wasn't for auto play, something to go back, something to take over to help you out. And that's where the mind comes in, to bring you back to that place, to revisit, to say, wait a minute, I'm on auto. I mean, a lot of people drive on auto and mess around and go to sleep. But saying the exact same thing. The car is on auto, but you went to sleep. But you have to be focused and aware of what's on auto. Are you on auto?
And it's so interesting that as we go through this, and understand this is from 1937, okay? And so he's an auto suggestion, but he's also, number 4, he talks about specialized knowledge. And this is from Napoleon Hill. He speaks about specialized knowledge. And he says here, knowledge will not attract money unless it is organized and intelligently directed through practical plans of action to the definite end of accumulation of money. What say you about that? Specialized knowledge.
Wow. That really, to me, encompasses everything. Specialized knowledge. You focus on one thing. You specialize in it. You have to put that energy in that one particular pot, that bucket, rather than be scattered all over the place. Rather have all these pieces. And so just think about the term itself, specialize. I specialize in this. I specialize in that. I specialize in knowledge. Specialize in learning to understand, to become creative. That's what's important. Books, music is lit. Even here, specialize in understanding what you want to do, where you want to go, how far you want to get there, and don't worry about how long it's going to take. Specialize in on your journey.
Yes, and then number 5 is the imagination. Okay, this is number 5, imagination, and this is from the book by Napoleon Hill. Remember, this is from 1937, and this is what Napoleon Hill says about imagination. He says here that ideas are the beginning points of all fortunes. Ideas are products of the imagination. The imagination is literally the workshop wherein are fashioned all plans created by man. It has been said that man can create anything which he can imagine. Think about that. Everything that we have comes out of the imagination of man. Mankind, man, woman, it comes from our thoughts, imagination. What say you, Ron, about imagination?
And that's what we had presented in the beginning as I read into the other book, imagination, ideas, and action. And out of that book, this book, or any other book, you will always hear and be reminded of what is imagination. How did I get there? Where did that thought come from? In your dreams, in your sleep, in your craziness, in your joy, your happiness, your excitement. Somebody says something. If you're preaching or teaching or whatever, concert, all of that comes to the forefront of what imagination is.
Yes.
And just in short, a man's mind, once stretched by a new idea, never regains its original dimension.
That's right. That's right.
It's so wide, vast.
Right. Expand your mind. Expand your mind. And the last point that we're going to discuss for tonight is point number 6. And again, this is organized planning. And Napoleon Hill says, if the first plan which you adopt does not work successfully, replace it with a new plan. If this plan fails to work, replace it in turn with another, and so on until you find a plan which does work. Right here is the point of which the majority of men meet with failure because of their lack of persistence in creating new plans to take the place of those which fail. I'm saying that the first idea about success and the first action after success many times is failure. But failure is a stepping stone to the next plan, and you keep on going and going and going until you find success. Failure is not the end. As a matter of fact, they say that failure is really the beginning of success. What say you about that, my brother? Organized planning. Organized planning.
Although it may not sound like I'm answering the question, in a lot of ways I am from a different perspective. So taking an example, your mind is cluttered, your house is cluttered, your garage is cluttered, all these shoes and sneakers and shirts and hats and boots and gloves and everything you have is there. You take each one and look at it as a plan. I planned to clean out my closet, but I didn't. So I went in the garage to do something else, only to find the idea that I went to the closet that I forgot the plan was, came into perspective. There's a time and season.
It is.
You don't know the hour or the day. And there's one scripture in the Bible, the lost coin. You see, it's not about finding that coin because you're stuck on it. It's not about being stuck. It's about you continuing to move forward, and eventually that thought and idea, that coin will come to you at the time and season. And so planning is, I plan to do what? What are you planning to do with your life?
That's right.
Other than sit there and listen to us? You see, I mean, we're thankful to have you listen to us.
Yes.
But the question is, once we end, what are you going to do? What's your next step? What are you planning to put in place? And because honestly, you should have a lot of plans in various categories. Whatever you plan to do with your life, your job, ideas, you should have it in different categories, just like those shoe boxes.
That's true. And I want to leave this thought with you because we're coming to the end of the program. But I want to leave this thought with you. This is from the book, The that I referenced before. The title of the book is The Power of Focus, How to Hit Your Business, Personal, and Financial Targets with Absolute Certainty. And Jack Canfield, Mark Victor Hansen, and Liz Hewitt. And again, this is from page 274, and they quote a gentleman who inspired many public speakers and self-development gurus, and his name is Jim Rohn. And they have here Jim Rohn. This is the challenge. And I challenge you, and I challenge myself. I challenge my brother. He says here, let others lead small lives, but not you. Let others argue over small things, but not you. Let others cry over small hurts, but not you. Let others leave their future in someone else's hands, but not you. Okay, you're the one that controls your destiny. You're the one that makes the life the way that you want it. I mean, if nothing, didn't learn anything from COVID. We have to understand that we create our own lives. We make our own lives. And my brother, I'm not sure of our time because we had a little technical difficulty. Jeff, what did time look like? Okay, we got 5 minutes. I'm gonna give it to you, my brother.
All right, let's split this, and we're gonna have an open dialogue.
Okay.
One of the most important thing is that, as we said, we share, we talk about, and matter of fact, let me say this. Give you an example.
Yes.
You know, there's a sister that came to me. I mean, we know the sister, but I'm not going to mention her name. And, you know, she said, can you, write me something? And so I don't just write something because somebody asked. It has to be a thought. It has to be a feeling. But nevertheless, I said, give me something. And so when she said, and I'm quite sure she wasn't paying attention to what she was saying, she said like a butterfly.
All right.
You see? So that was a thought. So naturally, that night, early in the morning, I wrote something.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And now I haven't seen her, I haven't spoke with her, and she don't know. I mean, if she listens, she might have an idea, but nevertheless, I will give her that. But there's a difference between just writing something or somebody looking for something. It also has to be emotions.
Yes.
The emotional feelings behind it. It has to be what we talk about. It has to be that desire. It has to be created. Because we all can do something. I mean, you can put a pot of water and cook an egg, but what are you going to do with the egg? It means nothing until you decide to do something else. Now, all of a sudden, you need that egg to fulfill that other gourmet, whatever you put together. Everything works collectively for the betterment and goodness of a higher power. He has given us everything we need to fulfill all of your desires and richness that he has given us. And matter of fact, I just want to throw a couple of scriptures here. Look at Proverbs 3. You know, in all thy ways, get an understanding. Get an understanding of who you are and read the whole chapter because I think it's on 15 to 18 verse. Like a tree. You see, like a tree, wisdom and knowledge. Everything is there. Everything we talk about, everything we present to you is in the palm of your hand.
That's right.
God asked it, we ask it, you say nothing. But it's not true.
It's not true.
Because something was in your hand when you grabbed that pocketbook, when you grabbed that food, when you grabbed this, or whatever the case may be. But did you utilize it and specialize in that one thing, whatever that one thing may be? Did you do something with it? Don't ever discard something because you think it's nothing. Everything that God has created works. Everything you see around you has its purpose.
That's right.
It's up to you to create something, to put something together, to make something that's going to benefit your health and wellness and have you and allow you to focus on your visions, dreams, and ultimately your freedom.
Wow, yes. Again, I mean, I don't think anybody could have said it better than that. That's really that's some serious food for thought right there. What he just shared with you. So I guess this brings us to the end of the program. Again, this has been Poetically Speaking with Ronald C. McCrae and Terry Benjamin. We're here Thursdays from 6 to 7 and Sundays from 5 to 6. And as always, we welcome your participation. We welcome your comments. And although sometimes we can't bring the comments up, I do read them after the program, and I will reach out to you. If you leave me a message, I will reach out to you because, again, this is your program. This is your program. This is what we have for you. And so, with that said, we wish you a beautiful, long holiday weekend. Can't believe it's Thursday, but we have tomorrow is the 4th of July, and I hope you have a safe and happy holiday. And so, again, we say good night to you, and we hope to see you soon.